Day 66 of the Daily Stoic. Don't tell yourself stories. Quote, in public, avoid talking often and excessively about your accomplishments and dangers. For however much you enjoy recounting your dangers, it's not so pleasant for others to hear about your affairs. Epictetus, Enchiridion 33.14. Modern philosopher Nassim Taleb has warned of the, quote, narrative fallacy, the tendency to assemble unrelated events of the past into stories. These stories, however gratifying to create, are inherently misleading. They lead to a sense of cohesion and certainty that isn't real. If it's too heady, remember that, as Epictetus points out, there's another reason not to tell stories about your past. It's boring, annoying, and self-absorbed. It might make you feel good to dominate the conversation and make it all about you, but how do you think it is for everyone else? Do you think people are really enjoying the highlights of your high school football days? Is this really the time for another exaggerated tale of your sexual prowess? Try your best not to create this fantasy bubble. Live in what's real. Listen and connect with people. Don't perform for them. When I read this passage, there were multiple men that came up in my mind as I was reading this. And these men are men that I care about. These are men that that's all you need to know. These are men that I care about. But dadgummit, they love to live in the past. They love to tell stories of exploits, adventures, and who knows what's real. I wasn't there. And frankly, they do get a good laugh. They do get a good chuckle. But man, it is useless vapor of time. How many of you guys have ever been here before? You're in that situation where that guy or that gal is about to open their mouth and you already know it's a story you done heard before. You've been there, right? And the moment they finish that second word that's been so practiced because they've said it so many times, you're already tuned out. You're already like, here we go again. On with that story, right? Don't be that person. I mean, I can fill up a room. I understand. And I'm excitable because I like what I do. And frankly, anything that I'm doing on video, I'm enjoying it. That's why I make the daggone video, even though it takes forever to post-process these things. But it's the fulfillment of others receiving my work is where the magic is for me. And I tell stories of the past. I do. But guess what? It's an audience of one. Ain't nobody around me, so I can tell stories to fill in the context. But don't tell yourself stories. There's no need. There's no need to take up the room. I think some of us need to be reminded of that. I think a lot of us who listen to this probably don't need to hear this. Probably are just as annoyed when the loudmouth continues to blabber on about that story that you've heard 19,000 times before. I think the thing that comes to mind when I read this is sometimes just shutting up is the best thing to do. I think I'm pretty good at that sometimes. What about you? I see you in Discord, MetaFam.